and welcome to the December 2019 Park and Rec Commission meeting. Everybody should have gotten the packet with the agenda. I've looked over it and would like a motion on that.
So move.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and second to approve the agenda for this meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next up, approval of the meetings from our November 4th meeting. Anybody have any changes or additions or anything? Otherwise, we'd like a motion on that.
Motion to accept them.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to accept the meeting minutes from last meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next, the department activity report was included in your packet. Director Schmitz, is there anything to highlight?
Chair Vorwerk and members, we don't have any additions to the activity report. We're certainly willing to entertain any questions you may have.
Any questions from anybody? Otherwise, we will file that. Thank you. Next, City Council recap. Director Schmitz.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. There's been a few city council meetings since our last commission meeting, so I'll read into the record what happened related to Park and Rec. On November 5th, the city council approved a comprehensive plan amendment, an easement vacation for changing the trail easement for Scott Dreckman between Carl Drive and North Highland Avenue. They also accepted donations, and they had the first reading of the 2020 fee schedule. November 19 saw the City Council have the second reading and adoption of the 2020 fee schedule, and they denied New Ulm Baseball Association's request to credit their 2020 state tournament user fees towards their Johnson Park deck debt, and they accepted donations that you recommended they accept, and also authorized the Lutheran Social Service 2020 lease agreement at the community center for senior meal service with no increase in fee. Adopted a resolution supporting the Minnesota State bonding funds in the 2020 legislative session to be earmarked for local park and trail grant programs administered by the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources. Also, they had a work session after the November 19th City Council meeting with nothing specifically related to Park and Rec. December 3rd saw the City Council receive information about 2 Emerald Ash Borer grant applications that the city has made to the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources. And then also, after the regular City Council meeting on December 3rd, they had the annual Truth in Taxation budget hearing for the 2020 budget. And they made no significant changes, well, no changes to the preliminary Park and Rec 2020 budget. And you have in the packet the Park and Recreation budget as it stands for 2020, which is expected to be adopted by the City Council at their next meeting a week from tomorrow. So that's the action conducted by the City Council over the past month related to Park and Rec.
All right. Thank you, Director Schmitz. Does anybody have any questions regarding City Council items? Otherwise, we will move on to old business. Renew update. Director Schmitz.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. We had a Renew Oversight Committee meeting a couple of weeks ago, and the purpose for that was simply to bring the Oversight Committee up to speed on design and the pace of improvements for the projects. I think we all understand some of the basic finances up on the screen related to the 3 locations, the largest of which is the Recreation Center. And so I will, here's the facade rendering that's had a couple of minor changes. Johnson Park, construction continues. All of the work that needed to get done before freeze up has been completed, and there's still work to be completed that can be conducted during cold weather. So the prime contractor, Web Construction, is still overseeing the project, and they have workers over there on a daily and weekly basis to wrap up some projects. There will be a few things that can't be done until springtime, such as cleanup and some turf-related issues and so on. Maybe some finish painting. I think we're all familiar with the floor plans there, the expanded central concourse, and viewing areas behind both dugouts, the first base and third base dugouts, and then the new state-of-the-art concession stand near first base, which also has natural gas plumbed into it now. So the food service offerings from the Baseball Association have been excellent and expanded over the past couple of years, and I think they will continue to progress with food service offerings at this excellent new concession stand with full utilities. The observation deck will get completed also. Footings are done, as they mentioned previously, and so that nice big two-level, bi-level observation deck by first base and right field, as we know, is part of the project. Any questions on Johnson? As you drive by there over the past month or two, you've seen progress, including the roof panels. I know now they're working inside the concession stand along with a few other areas. This slide depicts a few challenges we've had with
Look at the water stain.
water and footings. That picture to the far right is the deck, the observation deck footings.
And the hoses are the lines that those are hoses to the right that show the water getting pumped out of the holes.
Yeah, we did have some weather challenges here in 2018, as I think we all know. Okay, any questions or comments about Johnson, or we'll jump into Herman? This is the basic site, as we're aware of, the relocation of Monument Street, and where the former water tower was and water reservoir is going to be a parking lot. Actually, two parking lots, the largest one near Center Street and a smaller one near the playgrounds, with full ADA access throughout in the parking areas and sidewalks. So that design is being finalized this winter, and we're planning to present it to the Oversight Committee and City Council for approval to bid it out this winter, for possible award in the spring, for possible construction in 2020, this upcoming summer construction season. And you know, there are two projects up there, at least two projects. There's the Renew project, which is relocating Monument Street and putting in the parking lots. And the other project is the retaining wall replacement along Center Street. So it could be a major construction zone all next year. And the possibility of having the park and monument closed for the year is a possibility. Any questions about Herman? Otherwise, we'll jump into the rec center. The actual, I think we're well aware, the yellow shows the additions to the building, including the large box towards the bottom, which is the aquatic center. And then the light blue shaded area is remodel, including remodeling the existing swimming pool into a gymnastics center, and then some of the other spaces in the building, including Herbeck room changes. And then I think we're pretty familiar with the floor plan. There's a little bit of a zoom in on the main entrance, which is where the administrative suite is now. And then the co-located cardio and strength fitness center to the right, where the existing Herbeck room is. And then it will be expanded out towards the front. There's a close-up of the proposed improvements to the new fitness center, including strength and cardio and other fitness amenities. There's a rendition of, rendering of the front facade facing the parking lots with a lot of glass. The big box to the left is the new aquatic center, which is also going to have the new indoor playground adjacent to that. And then the glass to the right is the new fitness center. Rendering of the new welcome desk entrance. And so in this photo, rendering back towards the rear, the white kind of entryway, that would lead to the aquatic center and the locker rooms. The glass towards the far rear would be entering the gymnastics center, which is the existing swim pool now. And then off to the right would be the new Herbeck room, multi-purpose room, which is presently the women's locker room and a few other spaces. Let's see, here's a view into the new fitness center, and off to the right is the new administrative suite, which is the existing strength center, the existing weight room. We will be putting 5 administrative staff into that space. We're going to be moving from large offices to small offices, approximately 10 feet by 10 feet to 100 square feet offices for 4 administrative and management staff, along with a little bit larger area for the reception and administrative assistant space to the right. And a lot of glass into that. So presently, the brick area inside the building will be gone. All the brick walls basically will be gone and opened up into an open floor plan. And this is looking into the new administrative suite area, offices, from the fitness center. There's a little bit of the floor plan as it's continuing to be refined in the aquatic center. And you can see the 3 locker rooms towards the top of the slide. Far left is the men's, the middle one is the women's, and then the one off to the right is the family locker room. The space to the upper right of the aquatic center is the playground, the new indoor playground, and then there's a smaller multi-purpose room between the indoor playground and the family locker room. A rendering of the new lap pool. As we know, there's going to be 2 pools, a lap pool complete with ramp and full accessibility, and a leisure recreational learn to swim pool will be the second body, along with a new spa, so actually 3 bodies of water. Okay, so that, here's a rendition of the floor plan of the gymnastics center, which is the existing pool. Timeline is to bid this out late winter. Have everything approved and plans approved and so on over the course of the winter, and bid it out late winter for spring construction to begin. And the construction phase, as the slide depicts, would begin in spring of 20 this coming year and complete sometime in the year 2021. Could be as many as 18 months of construction. We're planning to keep the existing swim pool operational until the new aquatic center becomes operational, and then there will be a small period of time, possibly a few weeks during the crossover, where we may have no pool available. And then once the existing pool is decommissioned because the new aquatic center is online, the gymnastics center will begin and have that open up sometime in '21. Any questions on the Renew update?
Noticed on there, it did not show the 0 depth entry for the pool, but there is still supposed to be.
Yes,
right?
Both the lap pool and the recreational learn to swim pool will have 0 depth entry. Yes.
The rendering showed only the lap pool. It didn't show the spa or the 0 depth, but it's just a rendering.
Yes, there will be 0 depth If we could zoom in and so on here, but it is on the plan. There is
Good.
walk-in ramp, zero depth entry on both of the large bodies of water. And there are also some play features in the recreational fitness, learn to swim body of water, kind of like splash pad and water park amenities for youth and others to enjoy. Any other questions or comments?
All right, thank you for that update, Director Schmitz. And now we'll move on to new business. Donations, Director Schmitz.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and members. We have quite a number of donations offered to the city over the past month, and I'll read those into the record. A large list earmarked for the Performing Arts Center, the Outdoor Performing Arts Center, Amphitheater, and German Park, including a big chunk from the residents of the City Center Apartments on South Minnesota Street. $38, and these are all cash donations to the city. So $38 from Kathleen Backer, $110 from Jeff and Becky Bregelman, $100 from Arlene and Dennis Manderfield, $250 from Glenn and Tammy Stolt, $500 from Thomas Green, $10 from Wayne Lupke, $30 from Virginia Chelsis, $85 from John and Jane Gray, $55 from Eugene and Sharon Retka, $43 from Ron and Marlene Marty, $53 from Rebecca Cordes and Bruce Edward Timmerman Jr., $15 from Gloria Sticer, $15 from James and Roberta Heath, $1,000 from Jeff and Becky Bregelman, $108 from Paul and Julie Fromm, $100 from Gerald Ubel, $210 from Terrence and Janet Dempsey, $230 from David Fabian, $1,048 from Clifford and Cheryl Vath, $150 from Charles Brownreiter. And then two other donations for the amphitheater, not coming from residents of the City Center Apartments, includes $20,000 cash from EJ and Alan Van Cura, and $2,000 cash from Joan Krikova and James Bodine. Then we had two contributions for paver stones in German Park, and that fund will also be assisting with the amphitheater upgrade. $100 from the Naren of New Ulm, and $100 honoring Matthew and Emily Hagberg from themselves. The final donation is a second half and final payment of the pledge from Barbara Haraldson for the splash pad at North Park. That's $65,200, which completes her $130,400 donation for the splash pad in North Park, which will open when things warm up this coming summer, late spring. So the grand total is $91,550 in cash that has been offered to the city through the Park and Recreation Department over the past month. I recommend you forward it on to the City Council for their formal acceptance.
Thank you, Director Schmitz. Do we have a motion on the donations?
I make the motion that we forward it.
I'll second.
All right. There's been a motion and a second to accept the donations as listed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next order of business is the election of officers for 2020. We need to select a chairperson and a vice chairperson for next year. So I guess we'll open up nominations for chairperson right now.
Hey, Chris Warwick.
Okay, there's, I've been nominated, Chris Warwick's been nominated. Anybody else? All right, we'll close the nominations and can we do?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's seconded now.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Anybody else? Now I'll close the nominations. And then we vote all in favor of Chris Bork as chairman next year. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next, we need to select a vice chairman and secretary. Same.
Hey, Bob Skillings.
Okay. So we've had a nomination for Bob Skillings. And anybody want to second that?
I second it.
Okay. Nomination is second for Bob Skillings as vice chairman and secretary. Any other nominations? All right, we'll close those nominations. All in favor of Bob Skillings as vice chairman?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you. Next, we'll move to staff reports. Director Schmidt.
Thank you, Chair Vorwerk and Commissioners. You have in the packet our list of projects, programs, and partnerships. As I mentioned previously, the splash pad construction in North Park is complete. The recreation center boiler system is 99.99% complete. We're just finishing some exhaust venting, and so the new energy efficient boiler system and hot water, domestic water hot system is online and operational, saving significant utilities because of the new energy efficient system. I'll remind you that the boiler system was original to the building. The building's about 40 years old, so a 40-year-old boiler system was due to be replaced. And that will assist us for a long time into the future with utility savings and improved controls. The parks have been winterized just in the nick of time. I think it's a little chilly the next few days. We'll probably begin making outdoor ice for skating at Harmon Park. The 2020 budget hearing has been completed, along with the tree plantings that were scheduled for this past year. And then you see in the reports some ongoing projects that actually are in the progress or have purchase orders been issued. So there's a full slate of work, and then there's a whole bunch of ideas yet in a planning or concept or discussion phase. So if you have any question, I'll also add that the winter and spring brochure is in its planning phase. That will come out later on this month, around Christmas, and registration will begin early in January for the next of 3 program cycles that we have annually throughout the year. So be looking for the new brochure to come out in a few weeks. So that's about all I have to report at this time.
Thank you, Director Schmitz. Any questions for the director? All right, thank you. Next up, commissioner reports. So this being the last meeting of the year, we have 2 members that have completed their terms here, their second term each, and we would like to recognize them. So I have a certificate here. Park and Recreation Department presents this recognition award to Terrence Baumgart for the service to the community by serving on the commission as a member from January 2014 to December 2019. Given this 9th day of December 2019, Bob Boisman. Thank you. And Jean, you were the same dates. And, yep, for two terms. You a couple terms as vice chairman, I believe, too. So thank you very much for your service.
You're welcome.
How about a round of applause for the 2 retiring commissioners? I don't know if they have any words at all.
Yeah, words of wisdom. Outgoing.
Carry on.
Well, I guess I'll say that it's been a real learning experience, and this is the closest I've ever been to anything involved with city government of any kind, or any kind of government, you might say. And I've come to appreciate the study and learning that city officials or city elected officials have to do to know what's going on. And so come to really appreciate that.
Thank you, and thank you both for your service. So that brings us to our next meeting will be January 13th, 2020, 4 p.m. here. And there being nothing else, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.